Hello and welcome back to New York Outcast. This is Rob's Life as I See It, a fill-in show for Rick's Life as I See It. Uh, as you may know, or if you've seen Rick's little video today, he's kind of overdid it. He was out there clubbing, dancing with the girl at Deb's, and I don't know what happened to him, but he's not feeling up to it today. So got that thumbnail picture, so I'm sure he was having a good time. So we have Jason Stewart here joining us and Squibload. So I don't know if you want to say hi, Jason.
Hey Rob, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Yeah, yeah, me and my good hips doing good too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to be careful. At least if you're going to be dancing out there, don't do it like Rick with all the bubbles, because I'm sure that didn't help. So
That
uh,
picture's wonderful.
yeah, I thought it was pretty good. How you doing, Squib?
And I would think it would be kind of interesting for Rick to host his show on some painkillers,
Yeah,
get
right.
rare form.
Yeah, that I don't know if that's something you really want to do live. Be entertaining for us, but might not be the best for him. Um, so we have, let's see, Mystic Guns out there, Kingpin was out there. Let's see, and Jason Stewart. So at this point, I'm only seeing three people. So I don't know if notices are going out or how that works, but yeah, I'm small time anyway. So no shock there. Um, I assume people would probably stumble across shortly here. So, but yep, got to get that up there for all. Everybody knows where you're at. The Ricks people.
They're going to become your sponsor.
I hope it'd be a real brand at least. My goodness, but yeah. So I figure throw it up when I do these, kind of in brick spot or whatever. So technically, he's never really given permission or told me not to. In a sense, last time actually, he said if I wanted to do one, so kind of took it upon myself. So we got Moo out there, little Moo. Um,
Moo.
Gun Snob, yo yo. South Paw RX. Gotta tell you, I thought it was funny when Rick was saying how his cousin was over there making dinner, and he heard a box and opening stuff up, and then the next thing you know, she was making mac and cheese. I thought that was hilarious. Uh, that's too bad he's seen it coming. That's something.
It'd be great if he was like, "Man, this is the best mac and cheese I've ever had. Is this homemade?" And then they say, "No, it came out of a box," and he just spits it out.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Tried to feed him in the dark or something to see what he thought without seeing it.
Now, what if you cubed up some spam and put it in the mac and cheese? Then you think he'd eat it?
Maybe. I would. So I don't know. I don't eat spam all the time, but I like it. Like cut thin and fried. Get like a nice little sear on that. It's not bad. Um, I'd take it over some of these other so-called survival rations anytime. So let's see. Yeah, yeah, Rick's a weird one when it comes to that stuff. So, let's see. What's Rick do? We bitch a little bit.
How's your hip, Rob?
My hip's doing all right. It's doing all right. I can try to take character if you'd like, and yeah,
You eating good too?
Yeah, yeah, eating well. I actually didn't eat it all yesterday, and so today I couldn't eat much. For some
Didn't.
reason, I don't know. I had last couple days off, so yesterday was just one of them days where yeah, got in the vibe of music, and then the next thing you know, it kind of became contagious, and got some drinks going, and yeah, it was a heck of a night. So
Hell yeah. Better do it now before you get old, son.
yeah, right. Figure out you got to take your times when you get them, I guess. So sometimes it just doesn't work like that, I guess. But I think my first beer, I don't even remember sipping it. Like it was just gone. And those are the nights that yeah, when it tastes good, that's a trouble day. So
Oh yeah. I've been off work all week myself, man. I'm so sick and tired of just sitting around doing nothing.
yeah.
It just keeps snowing outside and it's cold and it just basically winter sucks.
Yeah, winter does suck.
I'm about YouTubed out. I'm about Hulu'd out. I've been bored. I even started cleaning the gun and just gave it a ass job, man. Didn't do very hard. Gave up on that. Just ain't been fun, man. I'd rather be working than sitting at home.
Yeah, it drives you nuts sometimes. I know it can. So I know my usual pattern is it's like spotty, and then when you're in work, nothing else matters. Until you get a contract done, the rest of the world stops, and after that, it's cleaning things up, whether it's tools, organizing things, laundry that's gets set aside for days on end, um, normal household stuff. So it's usually a lot of catching up at that point, and then you have the to-do list of the stuff I should have done in free time anyway. Um, so yeah, it's been a little hectic, and what just 4 days ago, I think it is. Well, it was longer than that. Basically, last week, my mom unexpectedly had to take her to the hospital. So, and that turned out to be a fiasco, but she's doing better 4 days later. So, also obviously trying to fit things in like that, doing stuff for other people, and keeps you busy. So, there I can state. Sometimes it seems like I work more out of work than at work, if that makes any sense. You don't have an excuse to put off your normal stuff. So, let's see. Good evening. We got Caroline also. Kind of makeup show for Rick. Fill the gap a little bit. Yeah, I know the other day I was listening to a show. People were complaining about work and got me all hot and bothered, and was about to try to do a show, and then I got tied up later in the day.
Gotta complain about something.
Yeah.
It's the last thing we got in America. The right to complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but work sucks.
Oh, it's better to have that suck than to have the suck of no work, in my opinion. So, it's better to be to work than under work, kind of. So, almost, how Jason's feeling right now, where it might be a good thing for his body and shit, take a quick break, especially after an injury. But at the same time, mentally, it can be a struggle. So, but yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people are complaining about work out there and stuff, and I'm not a gleaming success story and probably shouldn't preach, but seems like a lot of people are just kind of stuck in their ways and don't want to take a chance or do something different. They expect so much, and other than that, they'd rather just sit around and do nothing and complain. So, not stating that's everybody, but I don't know, doesn't matter. But things kind of off from where it normally is.
I got
But, you
something to
know,
complain about. Where's this damn check that they're supposed to be getting?
I don't know. I don't count on free checks, man. Or supposedly free checks. So I
So
honestly don't like it because when you look into it, it's kind of like they're taking $10 out for you, giving you two, and you're supposed to be happy. Well, they deviate what goes on with the other eight in a sense. And
So I heard two things about it. I should say three. It's $1,400 per person in your household to make up the difference in the $600 per person in your household that you got earlier this year, to make it $2,000. So they couldn't get $2,000 at the beginning of the year, but they could get six, but they'll get the 14. So I don't understand that at all. I also don't understand why I didn't get it until January, but yet I had to put it on my taxes from last year. That made no sense at all. The other thing I heard is that there is a chance that it's going to be for people who make $50,000 a year and less only. If you make $50,000 a year or more, you won't get it, which is kind of bullshit. And then the next thing I heard is that they're going to slip gun control into it, and everybody's just going to care about the money, so nobody's going to tell their representatives not to vote for it because they want the money. So I don't know what to believe on any of that.
To be honest, I haven't followed it myself. So
Well, I know it's a overrid his veto on and passed that package anyways. That had gun control in it. It gave him money to do more of those, gun violence studies to the CDC and a few other things in there. But I'd give you some gun control. Send me a $1,200 check, and I bet you I could buy a gun with it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that can use it in a sense, but I just don't like the fact that people just sitting and doing nothing and waiting. Like, you can't just wait for other people to fix your problems. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of get up and do something yourself. Go, everybody has different skills. Do something, even if it's not, you got to swallow your pride a little bit, get off your ass and do something. Yeah. And it seems like just a lot of people just don't want to. And that's what was bugging me. So
I got a tax return in like 1993, and every year since then I have owed money. I have never got a tax return back, of anything significant. If anything, I just barely about break even on my taxes when I was working in the factories. Now I owe every single year. So, I'm not one of them that gets the big earned income credits every year and this and that. So, like, if they're dibbling it out, dibble a little my way, man.
Yeah, let me correct myself. I saw that comment there. I can actually look at the screen while I'm at work right now. So I saw that comment there. You're right. Nobody was taxed on the stimulus checks. You were taxed on your unemployment if you got it. You weren't taxed on your stimulus check. But they had some crap in there where if you never got your stimulus checks, then you would get that much that you were supposed to get in the check in your tax return. And the way it was worded was really cryptic. So it said, did you get 2 stimulus checks in 2020? I said, no, I got 1. So then it's showing me that I'm getting a fair tax return from the federal government. I'm like, okay, this is good. About a week later, I get something emailed to me because I e-file and it says, you did your tax return wrong, redo it. And I looked at it again and again and again, and I couldn't figure it out. So I started doing some research and found out that the second stimulus check I got in 2021, not in 2020, is what they're talking about when they asked, did you get 2 checks? But they said, did you get 2 checks in 2020? Not, did you get 2 checks? And I got this one in 2021, not in 2020. How can you give me a tax credit or tax me or whatever? Why is it even in there? If you didn't do the due diligence to hunt down the IRS or whoever you had to, the federal government, to say, where the hell's my money? Why is that my problem? So I had to redo my taxes and resubmit them. And then suddenly my tax return was nothing. And it's not like they owe me the money twice, but it's like, why was that even in there? Why was that even in there? And then when they do it, I mean, the IRS is cryptic enough as is.
No doubt.
I'm not a fan of them. I can tell you that. I've been audited, and it was a pain, like a pain, to the point where I had to get like statements from the neighbors of, that actually lived in my address and how many people were in my address and all types of stuff. It was pretty rough. And, doing so, one of my neighbors is an elder lady that didn't talk to anybody. I had to get like her son caretaker to try to talk to her, and then had to get her down to get a notarized statement. I mean, it was just a hassle. And by the time I actually received anything, word from it, I believe it was right after the following year's taxes. Like, it kicked over it in a sense. So it was kind of strange. It was neat in a way because it worked out like double in the end. Not double, but I was given a little bit of money in the end, more than I probably would have because of two years in a sense. So, but it was just a real pain in the butt. So I'm not a fan of that. Honestly, I don't really trust them with Social Security and a lot of stuff, but that's a whole nother system, argument. Kingpin was mentioned. Let's see, lots of people want to do something, but jobs are shut down in a sense, and I get that. But I don't know. I've managed to find a way in a sense, and sometimes a lot of jobs aren't, on the table, so they say. Which, it doesn't help you in other ways, but it still puts food on your table. So, you might have to. I mean, I don't know. I've seen my kid make more money than some adults just going to shovel, having the will to get out and do something. So obviously, everybody's not physical to that level, but there's still, I think there's stuff out there. Some people got a natural hustle and some don't.
I know some people that made real good money last week shoveling snow.
Yeah, and see, I keep hearing that from people in other parts of the country. There's no work. We're all out of work. There's nothing to do. We're all blah. Yet still, we have an issue where I live where we have more work than we have workers willing to do it. And we have decent paying jobs with decent benefits. Sure, it's not necessarily work people want to do, but it'll provide. And I'm not saying move here, although that would be a way to fix the problem, because it's not for everybody. It's cold, and lots of people don't want to leave where they're at because they're, they got issues. But we still have an imbalance here where we have more work than we have workers to do it. And I just can't relate. I don't understand. My family moved up here for work decades ago. And 3 generations later, most of us are still working for the automotive industry. So I guess I just can't relate because I'm going to go where the money is. At the end of the day, I got to feed my family. I got to provide insurance. I got to have a safe place for them to live, stuff like that. I'm going to go where the money is first. So I know for some people say, well, it's not that easy. It's probably people who haven't moved around their entire life. I've moved around my entire life. It's not hard for me to do at all. I'm not necessarily saying that's the best option for everybody or it's the best option right at this moment. But at the end of the day, you got to pay your bills. So, I mean, there's things to think about.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know there is, some what they would state jobs like what you're speaking of, things like that, where you can actually get in through a company and hold up well. Granted, how long a company lasts nowadays, and whether you're seen as just a number or an actual valuable employee, that's another story. But obviously, you got to earn your worth. But you know, like, example, my mom and uncle both got kind of let go at like 19 and a quarter years from the company. So they couldn't get full retirement and kind of shafted them in the end.
Oh, that's
So,
dirty.
some companies do you better than others, but that's definitely something. Or, there's other things out there, it's just, you got to be willing to do it in a sense, in my opinion. So I think everybody's kind of stepped up a ladder at some point, and you get to a point and things aren't working because of jobs or whatever, and they're just afraid to take that one step back down. Like, it's a demoting themselves in their mind or something. But if it comes down to it, you drop down that level, you find, survive, and then reach up again when the opportunity comes. You don't just quit and fall off. I don't know. It's just how I see it in a sense.
Socialism will save us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We get a job. Sometimes I got to do, like, if helpers don't show up, if it's something with helpers, I mean, I'll do like the most minuscule thing all the way up to the most technical thing and not complain about it. If I work for somebody else and we're waiting and, I can't get to an aspect because somebody else is delayed, like, I'll do something else. I don't mind sweeping the floor. Like, I don't see the issue, but either way, I'm getting paid the same as the way it, usually breaks out. But some people just will not touch a broom. They just, they'll go home and take it out their paycheck. I just don't get it.
I don't touch a broom because I don't get paid to touch a broom. Nobody else brooms. I don't broom. I clean up my little mess 2 feet in front of me. That's that. I don't get paid. I'm done. Later.
I can relate. Like you're coming in there. You got you're for one aspect of the job, and I've been that way too. Like,
there'll be a whole cleaning crew. There'll be a whole cleaning crew in a day or two. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not doing it.
If I get there to the site and I'm still waiting on the drying crew and they don't know what the hell they're doing, training a new guy, 2 guys short, I can either sit in this chair all day, waiting on them, or I can get off my ass and do it. Like, because I want to get the hell out of here. So usually I do it. And for that company, I get bitched at usually too, because they just wanted me to sit in that chair.
I had a new supervisor.
That's not my style. I got to work, man. I'm not watching the clock.
I had a new supervisor years ago. Me and him are real good friends. When he first got on the job, he actually did win like supervisor of the year, man. He came in and he was like by the book bill and cleaning everything up and making everything nice. And first time I met him, he turned left and he's like, you gotta sweep the whole house when you're done? I looked at him like, no, dude, I don't even have a broom. I don't sweep. You know what I mean? That ain't me at all. You know what I mean? I'll clean up my mess in front of me, some sawdust, but I ain't cleaning this house. It's dirty right now, and I didn't even touch nothing. You know what I mean? And he was all, well, I'm paying for it. I said, I don't get paid for it. It ain't part of my job and stuff. And we went around and around at the beginning over that, and I wouldn't sweep nothing and never did. And then for years, every time I'd see him and he'd leave, he'd say, like, give me a good sweep at the end of the day. And I'd say, yep, and leave and never sweep a thing, man. He just kept saying it for years. But technically, it wasn't even my job, so I'm not doing it. Like I said, a whole cleaning crew gets paid to come in a few days with brooms and shop vacs and everything. 3 or 4 people running around. I don't get paid for that. But yeah, he said that for years. Give me a good sweep.
Well, there's a difference between there being something where you've got a union situation, or it's keeping somebody else employed, or it really isn't part of your job, or they need you doing 10 other things. They can hire somebody for a quarter of your wage to do that because they need you doing something important. There's a difference between that and, no, this is in your job description. If you were told this when you were hired in and you're going, I don't care, I'm still not doing it. Well, there's the door. Get roll call to show you the door. But there's a difference. There are some situations where Like I remember unloading a truck at the loading dock at General Motors, and because I couldn't get any of these lazy UAW guys to unload the truck, and suddenly they all came out of nowhere and made me put that stuff back on the truck and made me wait and all this stuff. I couldn't unload I would literally grab a pallet that weighed 45 pounds and slide it off the back of the truck onto the dock. Couldn't do it. And we had to wait. One of those union guys had to do it, and they just milked the clock, and they were protected by their contract. They give unions a bad name when they do that. They really do, because there are some really good unions and hardworking union people out there. But yeah, that sort of thing I don't tolerate. But on the flip side, I also don't tolerate the person that stands by the time clock for 25 minutes while everybody else has got a dust mop, and they get away with it. It's a frustrating thing for me. I'm kind of glad I'm not in management anymore.
Yeah, I find funny is like carpenters unions will have a yearly get together where they have a little competition on who can throw up how much drywall, how quick they can sheet it, all types of stuff. You know, it's like those lumberjack competitions, but for carpenters. And they will be blowing through shit, like blowing through it. But you see them on a job, and it ain't like that. Let me tell you, boy. When it comes down to bragging rights, they can work. But when it comes down to that paycheck, they just work on that paycheck. That's what I've seen, and honestly, seen some shitty ass work. So I can't speak for all unions, but you know, I'm sure there's good and bad and everything. But the people I've known that work through some and stuff, yeah, they wouldn't make it a week at one of my former employers. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Yeah, anybody can do a job for state or whatever, but there's a difference on how it's done, if that makes any sense. I don't know. So well, you can bake a cake, but whether it tastes good or not, it's a different question. So pretty much the same thing with those guys. So again, I can't speak for all unions, but at least some of the ones I've seen. So, or there's literally 5 guys standing around a utility box, you know, actually putting golf, and 1 guy working on the box. You know what I mean? So when you think of the cost of service and things like that, and they're just doing this right on the side of the highway or in the middle of the day, not caring, it's kind of concerning. I mean, what are you really paying for?
Well, I've been working on a speaking squibbish about kind of what you were talking about earlier about just the people that just don't want to work and where it gets somebody. And I don't know, I need to go back and try another take at it. But I saw some stuff here at work over the course of 2 weeks. One individual in particular, and she kind of inspired me to do one. So I need to get back to the studio on that and see if I can crank one out. But I think if I do, people will see that I really just don't tolerate lazy people very well. Mm-hmm. You know, the people that work harder at not working than actually just doing the work to begin with.
Oh yeah. Like they make a skill out of that. Like I've
use up all their energy with their mouth.
Yeah,
they could talk a million words a day, but can't move and do nothing.
Do things just within the law to where they had to learn it and understand how to do this to where they could do as least as possible to still get credit for the job, which is crazy. It could be as simple as walking on the edge and throwing a shingle up on the roof. They actually put a shingle on the roof, whether it blew right back off or not, doesn't matter. According to the law, they still have to be accredited a wage, which is bullshit. But yeah, New York State. It's crazy.
See, I don't get paid by the hour, and nobody I know gets paid by the hour. So, like, you know, people work. You know, I understand you see people that are paid by the hour and they don't do nothing, but when you're paid by the job and then you get fined for being late, yeah, you get your work done, man.
It's funny how my lady and I can go do a tear off, you know, on a 19 square house, right down the street from where a crew's doing the same job, and we can finish before them. Figure that out. You know what I mean?
Now, see, I'd be okay with getting paid by the job, But the hard part, I think, would be negotiating every single job. Okay, now this is going to cost this much. Well, I don't, that's
It's easy.
You know what? I've worked that out years ago. With my boss, I have 90% of the time I have two prices. I have small house price and I have big house price. No in between, no nothing. That's just flat out how it is. Sometimes I don't even see him for months on the end, man. I've never ripped him off. He's never ripped me off. We don't argue back and forth about numbers or checks or anything, man. Just simple two prices. I got like ranch style house price and I got 2-story house price. That's it. Doesn't matter what shape they are. Sometimes I get screwed on a big one. Sometimes you get screwed when I'm on a small one, but it all equals out.
So I've gotten fairly good. I guess, I used to sell jobs for companies in a sense. So I know what the local competitors sell for, the formula they use on how they look at things. And I personally can be well under that and still stay booked to make money. So for me, it's kind of easy, especially if you're talking about like a roof or something like that. Shit, with Google Maps, half the time I don't even have to see the roof, and I can be down within a package of shingles, size wise. So you can pretty much, like anything, when it's your wheelhouse, you can get a pretty good idea as you pull up to the driveway. So as far as like size, the average material cost, things like that. So custom stuff throws things off, though. I will say that. And
you ever seen the YouTube channel, Rob? World's Fastest Roofer?
I've seen a bunch of claims like that and see people, but they don't look all that fast to me. So I don't know. I've seen, I can't say, you know what I mean? And you're only seeing so much time. So let's say like how many square an hour are they throwing down? I know in my area, they wouldn't hire you if you can't throw down at least 2, which I thought was shit. But personally, I think my best being pissed off was just over 4, but I did have a helper tossing me shingles. I was trying to prove a point. And it was a fairly easy roof, so that makes a difference too. So, you know what I mean? But, doing something really quick doesn't necessarily mean it's really quick. Like if you catch a little clip, like they might bust out 5, 6 shingles, but are those nails that they put 5 or 4 in? And what does the warranty call for? And are they high? Are they low? Because just because it's not low doesn't mean it's right. It needs to be within the double layer. So if you don't want them written back off and you want it to actually cover by warranty. And did you overhang it the way the package recommends? Because your reveal makes a difference according to the warranty as well. So, I mean, there's a lot, doing it right and fast is good. Fast is, could be a fast way to avoid the warranty or make yourself look like shit. So, but yeah, I've seen some of those, but the ones I've seen haven't really impressed me, to be honest with you.
I hate roofing myself, man. It would take you an hour, take me 2 days because I just hate it. I'm not built for roofing.
I don't mind it so much, especially like if it's a go over or metal or something like that. Even rubber isn't bad. It's not too big of a deal in a sense.
If the good Lord wanted my feet off the ground.
See big chunks get done, and I know, like, within 4 days, a job will be complete or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? It's like you see that completion over the period of time that it goes pretty quick. I mean, almost like, in a sense, building a deck, Once you get one stage complete, the next is just boom and then boom and boom and, payday. You're on to the next one. So what I don't like is kitchens, like redoing kitchens, things like that. I do them, but everything's a back and forth. What kind of dishwasher? What kind of sink? Da 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 da. Then they tell you one thing, you get back. You got the supplies, everything. You come in to do it, and they had a talk last night, and they want to go with the other thing, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. I mean, down the faucets. I mean, like I really wish people figured their shit out. Like it's not my job to tell you what you want, but that's what some people seem to do, you know what I mean? Or uh I've actually had customers that say, like, we're getting older, we need grab bars, we want easier living. What do we do with our yard? What do we do with our landscaping? What do we do with our bathroom? And they just want you to kind of tell them how to spend their money. And I always feel bad. I do it, but I said, I'd recommend this or that or whatever. And a lot of times it works out well for everybody, but there's different types of customers out there, I guess.
That's called consultation, dude. You should charge a fee for that.
Yeah, I should. I don't, but I probably should.
I've paid journeymen to tell me what is code when I wasn't too sure, or to help me find something that was a little bit more difficult to locate, or maybe give me some options that I hadn't considered, or, hey, we've never had this system in the plant. We've never had this system in the building. None of us have any experience with it. I will pay you by the hour for your time to walk me through this and explain to me my options and tell me what I can do legally and what the pros and cons of this, that, and the other. I'm not saying I've done it very often, but that sort of consultation fee is worth it when you're looking at putting something in, spending all that time and money and fighting for the budget and everything else, and then the damn thing doesn't work. You look like an idiot, and then you have to go with your tail between your legs to management and ask them for more money, put something else in place of it, and it just doesn't. So that small consultation fee, I can hide that in the budget somewhere and they'll never know.
Most of the time when I tell somebody what needs to be done about their car or their house, they just don't listen and they do the exact opposite of what I told them to do.
I got sidetracked a little bit trying to read the messages, guys. My apologies.
Yeah, Kingpin's out there talking about taking care of the painting work, but he griping because a guy like me shoots 10 million nails in it. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. If he's working with me in the other room, he'd be crying every time you hear that gun make noise.
I find those prefab homes are like that. But they literally have 50 staples in them, and 2 of them hit the case or something. I mean, and the rest they'll just dangle off the wall. It's ridiculous.
I've been mad at painters before, and just took the nails out of my gun and just shot holes all over the place, man. Just make it just look like it's nailed to shit, but I didn't waste any money on nails. I just took the clip out. Done that many times. Well, not many times, only maybe once or twice a year. You gotta throw a punch now and then. Or if I got a place like a splice board, sometimes, man, most of the time, 9% of the time, my splices come out beautiful, man. Just like everybody else makes theirs just look like junk. But sometimes, man, mine just come out beautiful and perfect. And then sometimes they don't. So I need the painter to like kind of caulk it up a little bit in the gap. And they want to be assholes about it. So they'll like paint and caulk every seam, every jam, every corner of this whole house, top to bottom, but they will not fill in a gap that's on a splice board, right? They will always leave it and get somebody bitching about it. So whenever I do a splice board like that, I take the nails out of my gun, and instead of only having like maybe 4 nails at the edge holding both boards together, I'll take the empty gun and just shoot holes in it back and forth across that seam, just like stitches on your body, and make them fill the hole in.
You guys are horrible, man. Shit. Yeah, I'm glad I work for people like in those places, but that's one nice thing about yourself. You can only screw yourself, so you pretty much do everything right as you go. So.
If they really don't like it, what it really piss a painter off is to have a gun that won't set the nails, leave all the nails sticking out for you to set in before you get to putty. But I can't do that too much because I can get back charged for that.
This is what we got nowadays.
Trade wars.
It seems like there's a kind of a lack of people with the trades in a sense. So, as Bald was stating earlier, he's had a hard time finding people that actually know anything to do work. What I've come across is either you get somebody that shows up and don't know anything, and they're happy to just, instead of asking, just make a damn mess out of everything, or you get the people that know something and feel they're special and show up when they feel like showing up, and that don't work for me. So it's hard to find that in between, somebody that has a decent idea and will show up. Like, I don't know. Especially like if you're talking about a roof, I can't even count how many people were there the first day. That was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. They weren't coming back for day 2, that's for sure. Or some make it to day 2, they ain't coming back for day 3. It's rare. So, and it's the people that you wouldn't think. Honestly, seems like the buff dudes talking all this shit, like they're gone. They don't make it. They come up with some excuse, and it's like the skinny little geeky kid busting his ass the whole day. Like, it's the heart inside the guy. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Or you'll have some old guy, or I've even seen a girl huffing, shingles up the ladder every day. Like, the hell, these other people's excuse. It seems to be getting slimmer.
Oh, we got plenty of work here. If you weren't born here, there's just a massive amount of work, but everybody's taken. There's like no new carpenters. There's no new workers. There's no new drywallers. There's no new painters. Everybody knows how to do it. Has already got a job. You know what I mean? It would be really hard around here to get anything done where you're trying to hire out people like that. You're either going to pay one private, like remodeling company, a boatload. You couldn't really do much on your own around here, like, hiring out different people. You'd never get anybody good that's got time to even mess with you, man. We're all booked ahead of time. We're all full, man. And the guys that do come here and work, they work their ass off harder than anybody you ever seen, man. Just like you talk about roofing, around here it'd be like one guy roofing, do the whole house, or 2 guys, just a few framers. And I mean, like, they ain't got no time to go do a side job or something to help you out.
Yeah, it seems to be a lack of people in the trades in a sense, which is, one aspect that I can see it is doing well. Technically, I've had to turn down a little bit of work, throughout this whole COVID thing. I just, I can only be in so many places at one time, and I'm not going to take that next step into the next level because I don't have people I can trust, unfortunately. I've tried it in the past, and I've always gotten burned. My last so-called partner, he was all right. Did some amazing shit with handrail stuff where, you had like a 1/4-inch scrap, and this guy curved it, got it beautiful. Couldn't do drywall for shit, though. Like, he's, it looks like he's shooting the holes with buckshot. I don't understand what the hell's going on. And then he didn't want to work without his son, and his son had a smoking problem. You know what I mean? And just wasn't going to happen. But basically, you get tools stolen. It turns out to be issues. You can't really trust anybody with your name on it, in my opinion. It's very hard to, anyway.
That's sad, man.
Yeah.
Everybody around here is great workers, man. You can trust them.
Yeah.
No matter who they are. But one thing is, you kind of, just to get into it around here, you got to kind of know somebody.
So you pay them.
No matter who you are, yeah, or where you come from. You kind of got to know somebody, but once you get in the door and you work your ass off, man, you know, you'll never go without work. Whether
Yeah, that's a hard thing in our area. And most of the contractors are known to have drug issues. I mean, in the past, I've had to chase down my paychecks, things like that. Yeah, so it's you kind of get a bad rap in the industry around here. And again, trying to get quality people. I mean, I used to have one guy that was straight alcoholic. This guy was hammered. If he wasn't at work, he was hammered. But if I called him up, was like, "Hey, we got work tomorrow," he was ready to go and bust his ass all day long. You know what I mean? So what did I care? You know what I mean? Anytime I needed that dude, he was there, silver, ready to go. So, yeah. But you had to tell him like as you dropped him off, like if you got to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? but you got things changed in his life, and the last time I had the guy give a hand, he looked like he was gonna die. He did get it done, but he ended up basically telling me he was done shortly after that. Uh, so I lost out on a good worker there. He sweat alcohol all day, but he wasn't drunk and he did the job. So he even helped me out when we had some floods, and was working with another guy doing double shifts, cleaning out basements and heating systems, all that stuff, because they were literally filled with mud, river stuff, everything. Like you open the docks and fish were coming out at you. It was crazy. And but they were trying to save the building, so we didn't want to bring a machine in. Plus, ceilings are too low, so we would have had to tear up the floors and some of these it was a mess. Some of these historical places and stuff, but the guy was there the whole time. I mean, just back to back. Man, so I gave him credit. People like that I try to hook up, but people can't do it forever, I guess, and some people can do it and some people won't. So
I'm working next to a castle, man. I'm probably going to be working there for another year. And when I mean a castle, I mean it sold for $5.5 million. So just use your imagination. It's a castle, and it is bad. They got videos on the internet of like the realtor. It's crazy. Hidden passages, stairways, tunnels. It's rock on the inside. It's a castle, man. But what they did is the condo company that I work for, they bought this castle and all the land that went on it for $5.5 million. And next door to it, we built like 100 condos, and we're down to only enough room to maybe put in less than 10, right? The neighborhood's winding up. Well, they got the land divided from that original castle house, and now they've got the land tore up and plotting out the sewer pipes and everything. They're building condos all the way right up to this nice house's damn near swimming pool in the backyard. Gonna put in another 100 condos, and they sold the house for $3.5 million. It's crazy. They run the whole property of that beautiful, wonderful home overlooking a river. Yeah, I've seen the videos. It's amazing, man. You couldn't even build that today. I mean, it's impossible. The things that's inside that deck, you couldn't even build that today. Yeah, it's amazing. Plus, outside it's got a 9-stall garage that you can drive in the front and drive out the back. 9 doors on the front, 9 doors on the back.
that's cool.
What is that sickening stuff?
Yeah, it's Rick stuff there. Rick special.
Extra cheesy.
Sure, if you want to believe that. Well, So you guys done any shooting? Got any stuff for firearms lately? I think I seen a video from Squib showing off some kind of sling.
I mean, buying stuff and putting it on camera is easy to do. I mean, I haven't gone to the range in a while. I don't need to. I mean, there's some people that, like, if they don't go to the range 3 times a week, they lose their minds, and I'm not one of those people. It's cold. I got other stuff going on, and I don't have to complain about not having any ammo because, well, I mean, in addition to having it, I'm not using it. You know, and I understand that, you know, if you don't go out shooting for a while, that you could be a bit rusty. I know for some people, they seem to forget how to shoot right after they leave the range. I don't get that. But for me, it doesn't take very long to get back into the swing of things. It really doesn't. Now, for somebody else, maybe that's an issue. If they don't shoot constantly, they suddenly, I guess, forget how to operate a gun or something, the fundamentals of marksmanship. So right now, I'm not going to be out there making videos complaining about the ammo shortage because I just don't have a need for it. And I'm not willing to pay $95 for a box of 50 or something like that, you know. So I've been spending my money, what discretionary funds I have, on things that are available, that aren't overpriced. There's no price gouging. Some of the stuff has been out of stock. And when it comes into stock, that might influence my decision to purchase. But some other things are just kind of like, I've been meaning to get this, or there's a project I'm working on and I've got a bunch of loose ends. Why don't I start completing it, or backfilling something that I haven't messed with in years? I got a whole bunch of things that I can spend what discretionary funds I have on and not go out there and get gouged. So that's what I'm doing. Hopefully we get through this sooner than later. Who knows when? And things go back to normal as far as pricing and availability. But yeah, unboxing videos are the easiest videos to make, I think. I'm going to be buying the item no matter what. Whether I make a video or I don't make a video, I'm buying it. So I don't need to go out there and eBay for somebody to pay for it for me so I can bring you this amazing, I'll say the word, content. You know, I get to tell you how long it took. What was my customer service experience if I had to deal with customer service? Did the box come in one piece or bag or whatever? You know, did I expect it in a box and it came in an envelope or stuff like that? You know, just simple stuff like that, and then just show you kind of why did I buy it, or what I'm into, that sort of thing. So unboxing videos are really easy to do. I might have a few more coming up here, but I mean, it's nothing special. It's not one of these, look what I got and you didn't. I can't stand those because lots of people do those sorts of unboxing videos. Look what I got with the money that you suckers gave me, and you don't have this thing. Ha, ha, ha. And this is, if you want this is where you buy it. This is what it costs. This is what you expect if you order it. You know, they expect it to come in 2 weeks, or expect it to come in 2 months, or expect it to come in 2 pieces instead of the one that it's supposed to be, or whatever. That's what the whole point of those videos. It isn't about, look what I've got, look what I've got. It's about, you know, if you're interested in this is my experience. If you're not, just don't bother watching.
Yeah, I've done some of the unboxing and stuff. I feel kind of funny about it. I've got a lot of stuff that I could have done, but it just kind of feels weird. I don't know. I mean, shit, I bought this can't even think of what the hell it is now. Scabbard or whatever for the 12 gauge. Man, like, that thing sucks. Like, I can't keep it, like, you know, pinned right or anything. It just wants to just swim around, and wherever the hell it is, you can't reach the shotgun. It's like, it's just kind of upsetting. But
do a thumbs down video.
What's that? Yeah. Well, you know, maybe it was me. You know, I don't know. It was one of those 2 a.m. Oh, that looks cool. Let me try that thing. And you know, so I don't know. Yeah.
Alcohol may have been a factor.
Might have been. It was cheap, like a North Star thing. Like, it probably worked great on an ATV or something like that. And I was thinking, you maybe if wheeled and well armed or somebody like that can open carry, they can strap that right to the side of their cart. That would be cool. Motorcycle, dirt bike. I assume with some rigging, I could get it to basically strap on to a plate or something, to a carrier or something like that. But I don't know. So probably take some work. Honestly, it's just a pain in the ass from what I got. So I don't know, but some of those videos are nice, I think, because if you are looking for something, it gives you an idea what it is. I mean, maybe it fit my purpose or didn't, but it might fit yours. So I like checking those videos out when I'm looking at things, because I don't know, I hate wasting money. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do it, but yeah, I hate wasting money. So
Yeah, and that's kind of why I do the videos. In addition to them just being easy and fun to do, it is, hey, if you're into milsurp like me, or you've been looking for this part, or you reload, or if you do similar things that I do, you might find this useful. If you've never heard of this company before, and I've been buying from them for 10 years, here it is. But then that doesn't mean the video's for everybody. Somebody else might click on it and 3 seconds in go, oh, I don't care. Well, there's shut off the video there. I know I've watched some videos from some people, and they've given out information about the product that you don't find out from the website. And you can send, you can email to the contact us and ask them questions, and they'll never email you back. But if you buy it, you flip over the package, and every one of your questions is answered. And I kind of like that in some of the videos where they're giving product information, because that does help me make a decision. Recently, I watched somebody's video, and they gave out some information about the product that either I didn't find on the website, I either didn't see it, I must have passed it over, or it wasn't there. And that influenced my decision to not buy the product. So I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're good, especially if you're looking into something. So, I mean, I kind of got duped on one of those belts too. I didn't get duped, but I bought a quick disconnect belt, and didn't really think much about it. It was cheap. I think I got it for like $10-12 or something. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of them out there that look identical. I've seen them all the way up to like $50, like identical, the same markings and everything on the thing. So apparently some people like to pay $60, some like to pay $10. But the way it's set up, they're too big. Like, it doesn't go through tactical pants, doesn't go through any kind of pants. So you basically have to unloop the thing, put it on like a normal belt, and then you can click it back together. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not really thrilled. I guess I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if there's a smaller loop or something, or I don't know, but not thrilled. So a couple items I've gotten lately in the last month or two or whatever. That other one I got a while ago, that just like, it works, but I only see it faster if you got to like take a crap throughout your day, to be honest. I mean, let's just be honest. That's pretty much all it's really doing. Obviously, if you're dropping your pants, grabbing another pair with another belt. So maybe, if you got those pants in a locker, say like uniform, that might be ideal. Quick on and off when you get to work or something. But as far as removing it and transferring it to another pair of pants, it's actually probably slower. So I don't know. Complaining about products here, so. But, well,
other thing, some people do positive product reviews on garbage, and it's so they keep getting free garbage. I mean,
Olight.
Well, not just Olight, but just there are people out there that if you do a product review, even if you go out and buy it on your own, and one of these fly-by-night made-in-China companies sees you, they'll send you an email if you have that information on your page and on your YouTube channel. They'll say, hey, I'm so-and-so from so-and-so company, and we want you to try this out and blah, blah, blah. Now, some of them don't say it. And other ones just flat out say, we want you to do a positive review. And if you got one of those marriages where the wife won't ever let you spend a damn dime, and this is the only way you can get stuff, you're going to go out there and you're going to make the videos where you go, man, this is the greatest piece of shit from China that I've ever bought. And then some other company will approach you. And every time when she goes, what are you spending your money on? Instead of saying, it's my money too, you can go, oh, honey, this was free. Oh, well, go ahead. So there are those guys out there. I ain't one of them guys. I just, whatever. But I've seen those reviews, and I'm there going, that thing is the biggest piece of crap. How can you say it's the greatest, widget in the world? But there's a reason. So I would say that trying to weed through some of the videos to get an actual honest review sometimes is not an easy process.
No, I don't think it is. I know I search a lot. Like if it's a gun or something, I look at a lot of videos. I mean, that's how I stumbled across Hickok, not that I'm a fan or disapprove or whatever. You can see the gun shoot. That's about it. He's always, you name a top gun, he's going to be in that list in a sense when you start looking for like gun reviews. But yeah, I like to, mentally molest something before I spend hundreds of dollars in a sense. Usually end up going in knowing more than the guy selling it to me at the time. So yeah, I definitely like checking things out like that. Or if it's say, night vision equipment, anything that's going to cost money, I want to know everything there could be. So I'm reading all the comments, going through all that type of stuff. It's just, I'm cheap. I hate finding those little things where, I love finding those little things where you were about to spend money and then you see how some way it's not what you thought or not going to work for you, because it sucks because you're disappointed, but you didn't have to spend that money to be disappointed. So I'd much rather still have my money and be disappointed,
I don't have that problem. Everything I look at nowadays that I want is out of stock, back of order. So I won't be getting anything for a while. Maybe some parts. I've been looking at some parts here today, but even that's pretty tough right now, man. It's
I've had trouble trying to find mags, just trying to find the regular steel mags, preferably 10 round. That way, something similar. But having issues that way 10 around, because if once I leave the state I can change them back to 30. So I figure might as well, instead of collecting a bunch of standard 10s, I'd rather take that route. So hopefully I could use them. So I know people say like, oh, they're not made to or whatever because of those divots, but trust me, I can get those removed without a problem. So I won't now, but in the future it wouldn't be that much of an issue. So and if I'm going to buy them, I'd rather have the opportunity to be able to do that if I'd like. But I've been having issues finding those. All I could find these damn plastic ones similar to that, the Hex Mag. So I ordered a few more of those too. And basically, which, these are all right, but I just prefer to have the metal. And I'm not even sure if I can take these apart and make them work for 30s after I get them here. So for some reason, they got like a little, it's not even a screw. It's like a pin down there. So I don't know if I'm going to have to drill that out or what, which upsets me because I haven't even tried to take this apart to clean it yet. So if I can't pull this apart to clean it, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I'd call Hex Mag shit if that's the case, because, shit gets in there, man. Like, what I mean? It's not like every day. It's not in my pocket every day, but when you're dropping them on the ground, mud out, pine needles and shit gets in there. So I always clean my mags. So I've yet to actually figure out what the hell I'm going to have to do with this here. So, but I ended up ordering a few more of these. So I really hope I didn't screw myself because of that little bullcrap little pin thing down there. So,
have you ever seen the channel Small Arms Solutions?
No, I don't.
Chris guy, a guy named Chris Bacardi or something like that. Dude, he's the channel to go find. He's a big time AR guy. He used to work for Colt, excuse me, and a bunch of other manufacturers and stuff. He's pretty knowledgeable, smart guy about details and in the manufacturing and stuff. Well, he did a test last couple months on every kind of AR magazine there is.
You said it's what? Small arms?
Small Arms Solutions. Yeah, he did magazines for the Black Rifle and went through like all 20 some different brands and tested them all and all his experience over the years with them all. And I don't think he recommended any plastic magazine other than a PMag.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. So,
And there's only a
I
few
haven't
metal
had any
magazines.
complaints, but I've always used metal, you know, and I've seen metal ones be an issue. So plastic, yeah.
Yeah, like the OK brand metal ones is like the same company that made them for Colt and everybody else. It had the military contract. And I think they changed their name into a Surefire or Surefeed or something like that. But it's still like the same company. But other than those metal ones, he didn't recommend any other metal ones at all. And he said you have to understand about the metal magazines, they are designed to be disposable. They are not designed to, for a long lifetime of reloading. They were designed to empty it, throw it down, load another one, go about your way. So when people have trouble with, one of these metal magazines later on, a simple little dent, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of something will hang those magazines up, according to him. But it's not their fault. It's what they were designed for. It's what the blueprint and the specs said this metal aluminum magazine was disposable. You know what I mean? So that's how they manufactured the thing. So he was saying like one of the best mags out there is the PMag.
It doesn't surprise me. These are brand new. These Pro Mag roller mags or whatever work fine, no problem. But when I slide the rounds in up here at the top, the first few rounds there was plastic coming off as they were being slid in. You know what I mean? Sorry,
I know Kingpin hates plastic mags.
This I got from a buddy, fellow YouTuber out there. Matter of fact, I think he's on this panel right now. Oh, Squib. And it's got the metal with the Lancer up top. So that's nice. They're more money, but, at least probably a bit more durable. Granted, again, I like the metal ones, but,
yeah, you got to go look him up. Small Arms Solutions. And within the last month or so, he's done 2 or 3 different videos. And I mean, he's not just like running through, he's telling you why. And he examines and breaks down like every manufacturer's magazines. And some of those plastic mags are just complete junk right out of the box.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me. I haven't come across them yet, but durability wise, I definitely agree. They're just not going to hold up the same, in my opinion. I look at those as like range mags or something like that. If you're talking shit hits the fan, life depends on it. I'd rather go with metal.
Yeah, that's a good video series to watch, man. Like that guy, like knows the designer's name in person. You know what I mean? And he knows how this magazine was designed and why this one was designed and who had the patent for this and who had the patent for that and, who used what process and they tested. He's worked for a lot of companies, man. He's got the inside knowledge on them magazines. It's just a pretty good video to watch, man.
Yeah, I'll check him out. I took a little note down here, so it'd be good to know.
His videos. He's the AR guy too, man. He's owned, shot, and worked for every major military contractor and and he's like a writer too, man, or something. But he's worked for the companies for all the military contracts, all the military weapons. Man, he knows the specifics in and out of AR rifles and different models of them and different weapons from different agencies and military departments and stuff. I mean, he just don't know about them. Like, he knows the facts and the details and the crap about them, man. He makes some pretty good videos.
So for the longest time, I wouldn't use a plastic mag, and finally I got one, and I'm like, all right, it's okay. Sometimes there's some fitment issues, but otherwise it works. And this guy might have said that the metal mags, if he's talking about in military use on the M16, were considered disposable, but we never used them as they were disposable. When they were not serviceable anymore, we disposed of them. But the way the magazines were issued and the way the ammunition was issued for you to load your magazines, those magazines were considered reusable. Now, on the battlefield, you can lose anything on the battlefield. Hell, you can lose it in training. And if so, there were ways to procure replacement gear of any sort. But we were never trained or told that these magazines are considered disposable. The way they issued ammo since as far back as they were coming in metal cans, the ammo is not issued in a way that indicates the magazine is disposable. And although you can dent them and things like that, overall they can take a fairly decent beating. I mean, they can last decades depending on how well you care for them. You don't have to treat them like they're fragile, but if you try to break them, yeah, sure, you can break them. Just like those plastic ones, I'm sure they'll crack. Maybe I ought to drive over a PMag with my truck for a video. That's what I ought to do. But because I know if I drive over an aluminum one, it's going to flatten it. But
yeah,
anyhow,
my test is if it's dropped and you're at a run and step on it, is it junk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that. More practical.
But I do.
Put an O-light next to it. It'll be all right.
Yeah, now that's what I do. I had to run over my O-light and a PMag at the same time. That's a good idea. Watch, there'll be a big dent in the dang asphalt in the driveway. Then Rob will have to do a video on how to fix a dent in your driveway. But yeah, I do know that a couple of years ago, I read in American Rifleman that the Marine Corps they had a contract with Magpul for PMags. So if the military switched to plastic mag, they switched to plastic mag. Now, that could have been a cost issue, maybe not necessarily a durability issue. But then again, you never know. They could have spent $150 million of your tax-paying, your tax dollars to figure out which is stronger, a metal or plastic mag. But I guess since I'm old school, a lot of things I do are old school. They work. If it works, why change? So for somebody new who's has no military background or they were in the military and they didn't learn on iron sights, they learned on a red dot, and they never got issued an aluminum mag, they got issued a PMag stuff. That's their baseline, that's their benchmark, and they're going to think anything before was junk or whatever. So I think it's a matter of opinion, but I was really skeptical of plastic mags for a while. But since I'm talking about how they do things in the military, I want to address something that you talked about, Jason, I think about a week ago, when Rob was talking about the comment I made about Beretta slides, M9 slides cracking after like 30,000 rounds. Now, that was the last information that I had, and I'm talking about, we're going back to the 90s, right? And an engineer I knew who was a gun guy, he had heard the same thing, and we kind of got into it a little bit over how a 30,000 round test would break that slide. However, you were saying that they've improved them, and you were talking about the bulge and everything. And that's information that I didn't have because at a certain point, I never went back and checked. And sometimes the government will go back and improve a design, right? They'll say, this has been causing too many injuries or failures or whatever, we need to fix it. And then other times they don't. So I'm kind of glad that you explained in detail about the changes that they made to the M9 so that the slides don't come apart after 30,000 rounds or so. I listened to it on playback. I wasn't on the show. I think it was on Rich's show, wasn't it?
Might have been, but yeah, I've heard stories on both sides of it. Just watching interviews over the internet. But some of the more trustworthy people and the big names in Beretta and, Wilson Combat, Ernest Langdon, uh, Super Dave. Them guys will all tell you the truth behind that. And you can look in the court records and see Beretta sued the government over spreading a story that those guns broke their slides apart like that. Guns did break. They only broke like a handful of them, like 4 or 5, and only one soldier was injured where the slide came back and hit him in his teeth. It didn't explode and kill him or anything. He just got hit in the face by the slide. They traced all that down to the government on those guns, they won that pistol contract. They have to build that gun exactly the way that blueprint is. They can't change anything, even if it's a change for the better. They are stuck in that specifics right there. They can't change the technical data. The problem was they switched over to the 9mm NATO, and Winchester loaded all the rounds hot. They actually loaded them up to proof levels. So the special forces that it had, those Berettas, were shooting overpowered ammunition on guns that weren't maintenance very well, and it broke like 4 or 5 of them. But the Beretta ended up suing the government over spreading the false story that was their problem. It was their fault. They bring up and they cite not a single law enforcement or military force anywhere else in the entire world ever broke the slide on one of those Berettas. So that's their defense in it. But they did enlarge the hammer pin so that it slides up in a groove in the slide. So if the slide did break, it won't physically leave the back end of the gun and hit you in the face. Now, what they did with the hump in the area where it used to crack at, they did reinforce that and make that Brigadier slide. That was when they switched over to 40 caliber, because 40 caliber can break a 9mm slide. But that's where the hump comes from, just for the 40 caliber. But the M9s that they made right up until I think Beretta still supplies the government, even if SIG has the new contract. Things don't kick in for years. But those Berettas are exactly the same made as they always were from the very first ones that they got, and they never had the slides break on any more of them. So it was all down to Winchester and their ammo is what caused the problem.
I'm kind of glad you put that updated information out there. Even though I didn't say it on air, I did talk to Rob about it, and I'm kind of glad that you went into detail and extrapolated, and it's good information for me as well. So I do appreciate it.
I found it interesting because I didn't know much about the history, in a sense, too much with that. So, thought it was cool between the both of you two. You had basically a hell of a background on what actually went down or how things were. So it's kind of cool.
Now, one of the only issues that they really had is the military ones is mainly because of worn out recoil springs and high round counts. But the original locking blocks can break on those guns. It's a $25. The gun will still even shoot and function with a broken locking block. It won't blow up in your face either. But the ones that we buy for you on the shelf for us commercial people, they all have upgraded locking blocks. Gen 3s had them for, 15 years, 20 years. But the military ones, they do have the old style because they're stuck in their, specifications. But the locking blocks can go bad, but they usually don't go bad for 10, 15,000 rounds or something like that. And it's a $25 part. And like I said, even if it's broken, the gun doesn't fall apart or blow up in your face or nothing.
What do you guys think on cut of the week here? Anybody have any suggestions?
Pizza.
I don't think that counts. It's gonna be
Chicken
something.
sandwich.
Well, you could put meat on it, so maybe. You say salad squid?
I said chicken sandwich. So like a chicken patty.
Hmm.
Processed chicken.
Yeah, we're pretty bad butchers here. All right, so get yourself a processed chicken patty and a little bit of mayonnaise, I assume, unless you're kingpin. Some lettuce.
A lot of mayonnaise. It's a
Maybe a little
processed
bit
patty.
of tomato on there, and what? Cheese?
American cheese. Processed American cheese.
Cheese product with Miracle Whip on a chicken processed patty.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we'll definitely get somebody in the hospital on this.
You know, just like a McChicken.
Yeah, we got flank steaks, porterhouse, McRib out here. All types of suggestions here.
I made myself a big old fancy breakfast yesterday and ruined every bit of it.
You ruined it?
Yeah, I tried
Wow.
frying bacon, and I fried bacon up into broken, crumbled up little pieces, just like a jar of bacon bits.
Mm-hmm.
And then my scrambled eggs, I wasn't stirring fast enough, and I had the pan too hot, so I browned up all my golden fluffy scrambled eggs. And then for some strange reason, I have a toaster that goes like the numbers go from like 1 to 6, but if you put it on 3, it burns your toast black. So why in the hell do you even need 3, 4, 5, and 6 numbers? So I
Man,
just
you
had
weren't kidding about this bad week. Shit.
no.
And then get breakfast in without a problem.
Man, it took me 35 minutes to make. I was like, opened up the fridge door. I was like, man, I'm gonna have a real breakfast, man. I looked down there, I got eggs, I got bacon, I got toast, butter, jelly. I'm like, hell yeah, man. And I broke it all out, and it was a disaster. I ate it anyways. Like I said, my bacon was just like crumbled. It was like the chips in the bottom of a bag, man. I didn't have a single piece a half-inch long, man, out of a whole package of bacon. I ruined the whole thing.
Wow.
I don't know. I cooked everything on high, full blast, man. That's where I made my mistake. But my toaster really pissed me off, man. I mean, I threw the toast in it and hit it, and like it didn't pop up for a minute. And I went over him and I popped it up myself, and it was completely burnt on both sides. It was on number 3. I mean, what do you need the other numbers for, man? Jesus Christ, how powerful is this toaster?
That's messed up, man. That sucks. Yeah, we had BLTs yesterday, and the lady likes cooking it in like this thing we got. I don't even know what you call it, like air fryer thing or something. It cooks fast, like it does, but it's very fine line on overcooked, in my opinion. And yeah, I don't know. I still cook it in the pan. Prefer to do it that way myself, but anyway, I didn't end up eating yesterday, unfortunately, because I probably mentioned before, but started drinking prior and didn't want to stop at that point. And then the next thing you know,
a can for dinner.
8 beers later, I'm tearing up cold bacon in the middle of the morning. So and passing out. So yeah, but bacon's
That's
good.
the way you do it.
Right. Yeah, it didn't go to waste.
I had pizza and subs ordered for tonight, and I'm stuffed.
Oh man, that's it. We're food abusers now. Midnight can't handle it. Yeah.
I should have microwaved everything, man. It would have came out a lot better.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you ever microwave a steak? Mm-mm.
No.
No, but I've microwaved bacon and scrambled eggs before.
I mean,
Scrambled eggs only takes like 30 seconds.
I've seen people do it with the eggs, but I've never bought, I don't know. I try to avoid microwaves most.
You pour your scrambled eggs in a cup, and you turn the microwave on and you watch it. And when it gets about halfway up the cup, open the door, shut the thing off, and by the time you get there, the eggs will fluffed all the way up to the top of the cup, and you got scrambled eggs.
You just gotta dice up some spam or something and throw it in there with it. And
You do it just right, there'll be an air pocket, and the eggs will actually bubble up.
got some microwave chefs out here.
Yeah, you just take bacon and throw it on a plate between paper towels on the top and the bottom. Put it in for about 4 minutes, and you'll have bacon.
Yeah, I don't know. Had what was it? Marinated chicken fettuccine, I think it is tonight. So that was pretty good.
That does sound good.
Yeah, we went out to get it not long ago. There's a place here, more expensive than I like to go, but the lady likes to go there. Her dad used to make that a place or whatever, and she used to get it from there. We went and got it, and man, none of us were impressed. Like, she was like, "Oh, it's the best stuff," blah 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 blah. Like, the stuff she makes blows that shit away. And this is like the expensive restaurant. Like, it's just plain, like, wasn't very good. What it was like the bare minimum to call it, fettuccine or whatever, chicken fettuccine, whatever it is. That was it. So, we're used to, she'll put like vegetables in with it and stuff like that too. And I think she uses more cheese. So, and she does the cheese sauce herself right here, melting it down on the stove and stuff. And man, that stuff is good, man. Like, I swear you could probably plaster a wall with it, but it's good.
Yeah, I've never been to a restaurant that could make fettuccine like my mother does. You're right, man. She spends like 35 bucks just in cheese for it, man. Melts it. Yeah, she goes all heavy whipped cream and milk and stuff. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. She does it up, man. You can only get her to do it like once a year or so because it's like hard on her arm and shoulder to keep stirring that shit or something,
Yeah, I guess you gotta stay on it. So
she makes up a batch, man, and I love it, man. She does it after Thanksgiving, and then puts a turkey in it, man. It's fucking awesome.
It probably is good. I mean,
green peppers. Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but I'd be fine with throwing tuna fish in. I don't care. Something. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty good stuff. So, might get somebody excited. Try some chicken fettuccine. It might have been a while for people. Better than the microwave processed chicken sandwich, maybe. Could be it in the night. The sad part is that place is not cheap. Like, so, yeah. I don't remember the prices, but they should have been able to make it taste pretty good, or at least throw salt melts in there. So,
well, maybe you should go on the review site, give them 1 star.
No. I wouldn't give them 1 star. It was good, and you figure there's people out there that like the stuff plain or whatever. I almost wish they had 2 forms or something, but it was good. It wasn't worth the money good in my opinion, but it was good. So somebody else might love that and pay it the way we're used to doing it, where you got to eat it before it cools, or you're gonna need a damn knife because there's so much cheese. Um, so who knows?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Burgers, pizza, hot wings. I lived 40 years on that diet.
Yeah, I go for steak, salad, and cereal. I'm good. Throw some fruit in now and then, and I'll be a happy customer. That reminds me of another thing. Talking about food, went to Cracker Barrel. They wanted to go out, blah blah blah. So we ended up going over there. I was thinking Texas Roadhouse, but when they said Cracker Barrel, that sounded cheaper, and I was like, yeah, okay. So, but we went over to Cracker Barrel. Son of a bitch, they changed their menu. They took off like the big steak. They got their little ribeye, whatever, 9-ounce crap or something. The big steak's gone. Like, I'm like, what the hell? And then on top of that, they changed how they do their baked potato with the sweet potato. They put like brown sugar on it, butter or something. I can't recall. It's almost like candy eating that stuff. It's great. Now I get it. There's like these 2 huge marshmallows that are like a quarter melted sitting on them that like literally I had to just like pick up and move off, and part of the potato and shit's all stuck to it. I'm not thrilled, man. Like, I was pissed. I didn't have the steak. And then I usually get the house salad. They have no Italian dressing anymore. Like, they're just not selling any Italian dressing. Like, they used to have light, which I'm not a fan of, but I could live with it. But they didn't even have that. They got nothing. They kicked Italian dressing, and they kicked the big steak. Like, I'm never going back there again. It's that simple. Like,
Man, is it tough in New York? Why can't they just leave people alone, man?
Oh, God. It sucks because they got a lot of good candy in there, but I tried the fish. It sucked. They like burn it. It was not good. I got that baked potato thing instead. Like I said, that was all done different, not good. Like, the only thing that tastes good was the coffee. I mean, honest to God, that's pretty sad.
Do they got soy milk?
I don't know. I don't think so. I probably wouldn't have liked it if it did. I assume so. Like, I always had, a good time with
Andrew.
But they've definitely gone downhill in my area. Hell no, we're coming out to your place, man.
Yeah, we're gonna try out the new place, make a video review.
The lady's already talking about, like, we're gonna go. I was like, he tells me where it is. I was like, hopefully he's got a damn burger though. I know how you are. Take her to a steakhouse, she'll take a burger. Go out to some Chinese buffet, she'll have a burger. Like, you gotta have a good burger. I don't know. I'm a steak guy. You can't have a nice steak on your menu and just remove it. Like, you can't do salad and not have Italian dressing. I mean, that's like one of the most basic dress. I don't care if it's house Italian. You should be able to make it up real quick. I don't understand. I make my own Italian. What the hell? like, I don't get it. If I got to bring my own shit with me, then what the hell's the point of paying to eat out? I just don't get that.
Man, do you guys got any like all you can eat buffet places?
I don't go to them, so I couldn't tell you. But not the way people are with their damn kids and grabbing everything. And no, I'm like semi-germophobic. Not really, but to the point where I've been almost had issues in the service sharing certain gear. But yeah, I'd always keep a PC cap on anyway, needless to say. But yeah, hopping in somebody's sweaty stuff for 10, 12 hours is never fun when you get it and it's already dripping wet. But I'm not a fan of certain things. Every time I hit buffets, like the salad's got flies in it, you know, you'll see kids grabbing shit, putting it back, even adults. I mean, in general, people are too nasty for me. If it's survival or something, that's different. But all in all, I don't want to pay good money to deal with other people's shit like that.
Thanks, Rob. I don't like the buffets anymore either now.
Sorry, man. Some people like them. I know. I there was times I was forced to eat there. Dude. That's where everybody was going, and the account was handled or whatever. But other than that, I'm not much of a fan, unfortunately. So I'm sure there's good places, but it almost seems like those places should have somebody's grandmother sitting there on a stool watching people. Like, you know, take what you touch type stuff, you know, don't pick your nose up here, all that type of crap. Like, it's amazing because people just, I don't know. In general, a lot of people are freaking slobs. So, not my thing. What about you, Squib?
About the only time I hit the buffet is in Las Vegas. I don't think you'd like it, though, not because of all the germs or all the people or whatnot. It's just, I don't think you could stomach paying $65 per person for an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh, hell no. No. So, no, even if it's good. Like, wow. Well, they have steak?
Prime rib.
Prime rib's good, but still, I used to get a hell of a prime rib, like bigger than most plates, plus two sides for like $12.99 and down on the corner till they sold out and had to change their name, and now they got all this fancy shit. You know, like everything's like French. They threw a "we" or whatever on the end of every damn thing and added $5 to it, and then got rid of the good steak.
Dear Tay.
Oh, bitch. I hate
There
that.
are some buffets there that are good buffets for a fair price, but not many. They're either really pricey, and don't get me wrong, I mean, you might want to go to like the Sunday champagne brunch buffet, all you can drink champagne, or $2 flutes of champagne included with your all you can eat brunch, depending on where you're at. They've got that in some places. But some of the ones that are off strip, you go to them and they're real bad. It's like cafeteria food. It's like, what the hell? But, you know, you got to take one for the team and try it out every so often. And then every now and then you'll find one that it's like, this isn't too bad. This really isn't too bad. But if you're at some of the nicer places on the strip, especially if it's a weekend or a holiday, yeah, paying $65 a person is not unheard of.
Whew. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it. I'll be honest.
It used to be that they had a bunch of places with 24-hour all-you-could-eat buffets that were like, you know, $5 and stuff like that. And right around 2005, that started to change. That's the old Vegas. So you hear these people that haven't been there in forever talk about the old Vegas.
You get a wristband and come back in for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
or? No, that's
yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, but I mean, you can load yourself up. I mean, I've eaten 10 plates of food.
It's not worth it to me. You know, I can get stuff for $25 at a decent place. You know what I mean? Let alone 60. So.
Well, and that's another thing too, is sometimes you're better off just going to a restaurant, but what some of those restaurants charges is pretty high too. I mean, it's tourism, right? So they're going to be charging. If you go to where the locals go, though, once again, you can find things off the strip where the food is good and it's good service, good price. You know, it's just like a mom and pop restaurant where you're at, if you know where to go. Sometimes it's just easier to do fast food because of the amount of time you're at a buffet or at a nice sit-down restaurant. But if you're on vacation to enjoy yourself, who cares? Just spend the money and have some fun.
Yeah, I'm not that guy, man. We had that deal in Florida at the damn whatever resort we were at, and the burgers they wanted, I forgot what it was. It was almost like $20 a burger. You know, it was something crazy, and they were just regular burgers. Actually, they kind of taste shitty. And the lady's like, "Oh, we're on vacation." And I'm like, "No, but do I have like freaking moron written on my forehead? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know, I'm not gonna keep paying for this. So we're going somewhere else. Like, you know, I can do a lot more with that money later. So I'm not buying the sunblock inside for $22. You know, we'll take a drive down to Family Dollar and get a bottle for $5. You know, like that's just it's just built into me. I can't do it. You know, you see the damn sandals in those places. They're like a $5 pair of sandals. They want $40 for them. Like everything is jacked. Like, oh hell no. Like I don't make money to just say screw it. Let's just throw it away, and I'm gonna spend $30 for a bottle of Pepsi. Like fuck that. Well, that's my shit. Whatever. Yeah, nah, man, not me. God bless you guys that do. Keep everything going, but
I'm not saying that you
going down the store to the gas station or something.
I'm not saying you buy every single thing at the gift shop and the tourist trap. Obviously, you know, there are people that don't know that there's like 12 Walmart stores in Las Vegas. There are. So if you've already rented a car, you can go to like the regular grocery store. Hell, you can go to Safeway or oh crap, what's the other one? I can't think of it off the top of my head. You know, and if you're a tourist and you don't know your way around, you could literally be standing half a mile from a McDonald's and a grocery store and not know it. And you know, it's just the way they get you turned around out there. But they have like CVS stores and stuff like that on the strip. So if you need something, you can go there, and those are normal price. Those aren't necessarily rip-off prices. But I mean, I've been to, you know, other places that are tourist traps. I mean, where they'll really get you. And I know what you're talking about the you know, well, look at what they wanted for some of the stuff in Washington D.C., right? But they know that, you know, this is where tourists go. This is how they make their money. Just have to be smart about it. If you spend too much time trying to be cheap, you're going to lose out on some fun time. But if you throw all your money away, then you may walk away from there saying, I don't ever want to do this again. On the other hand, you know, you can't necessarily take everything with you, or there's always going to be that one item that you left at home that you just forgot. And that's, you know, I mean, it happens.
Yeah. And I would add, if there was one thing I probably shouldn't have been cheap on, it was a sunblock.
Yeah. It didn't work, did it, Rob?
Well, that's another story. Let's just say the ladies were pretty cooked. Anyway, I mean, we could have got that or whatever, but she thought it was crazy too. So, but it's amazing what one day will do, I tell you. So, or one evening, I should say. So it wasn't even day. Like sun was almost going down. Basically, we're there in the sun for a couple hours, but that next day, she definitely needed it. So.
You know, that's another thing too, is sometimes you're at these places and you might find a bar or a restaurant, but you can't find something as simple as a gas station or a store where you can buy sunblock or something. I mean, there's some of these beach places where, you know, you're kind of far away from anything, and it doesn't always work out well. So sometimes you need to do your research ahead of time and know that, you know, if you're driving in, where you got to stop on the way, or if there's, you know, you realize on the way there that you forgot something, just, you know, use your phone and, you know, see if there's a Walmart on the way, and then just pull over, stretch your legs, get what you need at Walmart, and then you don't have to worry. The other thing too is lines. I don't know how you're about lines at these places, but it's like I'm paying my hard-earned money and spending what little
restaurants with lines. It's
Yeah,
off, but I'm not
I'm paying
waiting,
my
man.
hard-earned
Like
money for this.
I go to eat. I don't go to dick around. It's not a social thing. I'm not trying to, it's not a business thing. Other people go out to dinner. They're there half the evening and whatever. To me, I'm in. We eat where I'm out. I'm not. If I got to sit there and wait, I'm going to a different place. That's the way I look at it. Like, I'm different. I know. I understand. People, I totally see food different than some other people do. Some people just can't wait for it. Every meal. Shit. I usually eat once a day, and normally, if I'm on the road, I got places to be. I'm not here to make an event out of it. I want good food service, and I'm happy to pay a little extra and tip if I enjoy it. And I'm on the way. Always remember good food, and bad food I'll never see again, so it's not an issue. But I can give an example. The Jersey Shore, in a sense, went to one of them places right on the boardwalk, got burgers, some stuff up there, way overpriced to the point where like I almost took a crap. Like I was like, what? Like I spent over $100 and some odd dollars for two people, just to get lunch. I was pissed. Like after that, ended up going a block. It was like a block or 2 blocks off the boardwalk. And I had the best freaking pizza of my life, like Philly cheesesteak pizza. I don't know what, this little mom and pop shop was making it. We ended up sitting there eating 2 of them for dinner. Like, that's saying something. I mean, the kids were there at that point. So, when we got dinner or whatever, but I spent like, I don't know, like $25 or something like that. And we were stuffed. Like we had more food than we can handle and happy about it versus, 2 blocks back on the boardwalk where the food tastes like shit and it was all overpriced. So yeah, I'd much rather go to where the, locals go and stuff like that. So save my money and be happy.
I like getting the hotel that's got the restaurant in it. What I don't like is when that restaurant is like breakfast and lunch only, or they close at 11 or something like that. And you might go, well, who's up at midnight eating? If you're on the road all day and it's late night, or maybe I ain't eating. Maybe we had dinner at 9 when we got there, but maybe I want to stay up and have a few drinks and or something like that. So I like the restaurants that have got those. I like the ones that they've got options. It's not just this tiny menu and there's nothing there. And especially if you've been on the road all day and you don't really feel like going anywhere. Sometimes you do want to get out and see the sights, and other times, man, the room, the restaurant, the pool, it's all there, and I don't really care what they're charging as long as it's all good. It's well spent to me.
Well, I guess people are different and different things. I always say, like, I don't know. I'm just cheap. I don't tell you. You know what I mean? When it comes to certain things, I just, not going to spend more if I don't have to, just for convenience in some cases. For some things, I might. So maybe, just certain things like that. I just, I don't know. I look at money as time, like, you know what I mean? And that's the best way, I think, to explain it to kids.
Yeah, and I do
too.
Like,
how much time does that require? I don't want to give hours of time for a simple item that should be minutes at best. Like, you know what I mean? To me, I don't know. That's just me. I guess there's been situations where I've spent more not caring, but it's within limits. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go spend 1,000 where I could have spent 100 just because I can. I can't do it,
But I look at it like that, but from a different point of view. This is my time off. I get very little of it. If I'm having fun, if I'm building memories, if the kids are happy, the wife's happy, to hell with it. I'll make the money back. It's not like I go on one of these trips every other week. If I was on vacation once a month, I might be a little bit more. I'm not saying I just throw money around. I don't. But there's been some times where I've paid a premium for this or that, but I'm on vacation. That's why when I'm on vacation and I've got to wait in line, I'm really not too happy. Or if I'm on vacation and, I'm spending half the time looking for a parking space or something like that, I'm not really too happy. We stayed at a hotel that they had the concert, they had the amphitheater in the back of the hotel. We didn't have to leave the hotel. They had the pool, they had the restaurants, they had a mall in the hotel, they had everything. It's like, it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it because we went to the bar, had a few drinks, walked over, got in line for the concert, got our T-shirts, went, saw the concert, walked back across the street, back into the hotel, and we could go to our room or we could go do whatever we wanted. And, you know, it was a little bit pricey, but I would definitely do that again. Every now and then you'll go to one of these places and it'll be a little bit slow and the waiter or waitress will like comp you a drink or something like that. So you give them a bigger tip or you know, they'll bring you something out to try out. Hey, what do you think of this? And hey, yeah, I like that. All right. Would you like to order that? Or, I mean, they'll do certain things for you. We've gone to places where the parking, you had to pay for it. And they were like, we'll waive the parking fee on it, just whatever. But we've also got screwed over before too. We went to one place and we paid with points. And when we went to go check out, they billed us and said, no, we paid for this with points. And they go, yeah, but we doubled the price. So you're going to be paying the same amount you pay. And it's like, fuck you. Yeah, $550 worth of points. $550 worth of points, and the bill was $1,100. It was $550 when we checked in. When we checked out, it was $1,100. What the, you know? I will never stay there again. They have lost my business forever. You know.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same about that resort we were at. Wish I could remember the name, but I can't now. It's one of them Disney places or whatever. But man, room was a disaster. There was like pop pimple juice on the mirrors and shit. Like that place was freaking nasty. Hairs in the bed. Like, what the hell? You know, like this is one of the most expensive hotel rooms I've ever got. Like, what the hell is going on here? You know, and it's like a kid setup, like on top of that. So, yeah, what the hell? And then, you know, they came in and cleaned or whatever, claimed they cleaned. They didn't even vacuum the carpet. Like, they were still, I was so pissed off. Like, yeah, this could be a much longer story, but needless to say, they offered to comp, like, I think it was 2 nights or something like that out of the stay or whatever it is. So, and, you know, not charge us parking and all that. So, of course, we're like, okay, like, you know, we didn't go down there saying, give me some money or something, just politely pointed out that the room was a freaking disaster. And even after they cleaned it, it was still a freaking mess. Like, my kids, you know, young kids do a better job than that shit. Like, I don't understand that. And this is your profession, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Turned out to be a whole issue. Well, when we went to check out, of course, they were like, oh, trying to charge us for that shit. So it turned out to be an issue, which it wouldn't have been because we didn't even ask for a discount initially. They offered it and then, you know, told us this and that. And the lady's like, oh, great, we got extra money. And I'm like, yeah, no. Let's wait and see what happens when we check out. You know what I mean? And sure as shit, they tried hitting us. So it got worked out, but it was a disaster. It basically, you know, management had to be there, you know, and blah, 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 all this crap. And it worked out to where, sorry, 1 second. Damn right, I want a milkshake. But basically, we ended up pretty much telling them, look, man, if we got to turn back around and come back and deal with this, we can. But, like, you guys told us one thing, and now you're trying to tell us another, and blah, blah, and it just turned out to be an issue. So I think they thought we were kidding, but I would turn around and drive my ass back. So we went further down into Florida or whatever, but, you know, I'll come back for money and be a problem if we got to. So needless to say, they ended up taking it off. But it was a disaster. The whole thing was a freaking disaster. And it's supposed to be a high-end resort place, blah, 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 all this fancy shit. The best place I went was some little place. It's in my Florida video. The place was freaking beautiful. The service was great. They had the pool out there. Like, you know, it wasn't a resort. It was nice. The staff was great and everything. Like, I could have stayed there the whole time. I love that place. Nothing but good compliments. But the shit gets too big, and it all goes to shit. Especially right after spring break. So, I don't know.
I went to a nice motel once, man. Got one of their nice big fancy rooms. And when I woke up in the morning, I had 4 flat tires.
That sucks, man. That really sucks. Yeah, I always check my car, like tires, like I look at lug nuts and everything because I've known some shady ass people, man. Like they will mess your ride up. You'll get 2 blocks down where there ain't nobody around, and then you'll end up with some damn problems. Like, so you just check everything. I'm, especially rallies and shit. I'm always looking around my car before I even walk up to it. Like, no. Like, I've been there, done that. It ain't getting me like that. So I'm always checking that stuff.
We went to a resort we had stayed at one time before when the kids were younger, a lot younger. And on another trip back, we decided to stay there again because it was so nice. And we got there and we only had one room booked with 2 king beds in there. And the kids were all like, we really, and we had a special price on the room and whatnot. And we said, is there any way we can get a second room? And she looks over and sees the kids. She goes, kids? I go, yeah. And she says, tell you what, I'm going to give you 2 rooms next to each other. They're not going to have a door adjoining, but the kids will be right next to you. And I'll give you the same rate that you booked it, months ago at for the other room. And we stayed there for like 3 or 4 days, and I thought it was a pretty good deal. So every place we stayed after that, we were getting 2 rooms, and the kids loved it. And on one of the places we stayed on the way back, we went there and we had booked 2 rooms, but we didn't have anything picked out. And she said, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the suite that's right next to the pool. It's 2 rooms in one. It's adjoining and all that, but there's a bigger master and then there's a smaller, and it's right next to the pool. And she said, I'm going to give it to you for our cheapest rate, like a single room rate. So every now and then there isn't a disaster story. They'll take care of you. They'll be real nice and do things. And those are the places we go back to. We would definitely stay there again. We went to one place, and it was the first time we ever stayed at this place. And when we checked in, they said, we're going to put you up on the 7th floor. And I'm like, why all the way up on the 7th floor, whatever. We get up there, find out the pool was on the 7th floor. They put us 4 doors down from the pool, so we could just walk right to the pool. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's customer service,
Sounds like white privilege.
And I pulled out my card, and I went to one place. I was on my way. Was it back or to? No, it was on the way to go out to Nebraska to see the solar eclipse with my son, and we were stopping at Travis's place. But that was back when he was in western Nebraska, so we didn't quite make it there, and I got a hotel for the night. And my wife, she's the one with the membership with the get the points and all that other stuff, right? So she went online and booked it, and she said you're all good to go. And when I got there, I gave her a reservation number and all that, and she said I can't let you stay in this room. And I said, what do you mean? She said, it's in your wife's name. I go, yeah, and my wife's got the same last name as me. I said, you see my driver's license? You see my wife's address? My address is the same. She goes, well, for all I know, you and your wife got in an argument. You abducted your son there, and you're a fugitive. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? She said, I cannot rent you. I called my wife and handed the phone. My wife made this woman turn colors. She handed me the room key.
Good.
I will never stay at that hotel again. I have never heard such a load of shit. And it was from a chain. Well, on the way back from Travis's house, we stayed at another hotel in that chain, but at a different place. And while I was there checking in, I told the guy at the store, and he goes, that's crazy. No, we don't do that. I don't care if it's in your wife's name or somebody else's name. If you've got the reservation, he goes, but you have the same last name and the same address. What is the problem? And I said, that's what I think. He goes, no, that was just somebody at the desk with a power trip, but that was a crazy one. Yeah. But I called my wife and I said, they won't let me rent the room. She goes, what do you mean? She said, put her on, I don't know what she said to her, but yep.
What hotel was that? Mario's asking.
I'm not gonna say the chain because that's the only bad experience we've had. We've gotten free rooms. We've gotten upgrades for free. We've got all kinds of. We've been, at the restaurant. They've comped us stuff there. I mean, some things are included. Like sometimes you get the free breakfast there, or you get a free meal or a free drink if they have a bar there, depending on what they've got. We stayed at one of their hotels where they had a water park in the middle of the hotel. That was interesting. They had like restaurants and an arcade and a bar and a water park, and that was really cool. But this one out of like the 30 hotels we've stayed at from that chain, this is the one and only time we had a bizarre incident like that. Actually, the first time we stayed at this hotel chain, we hadn't reserved any hotels in advance, and we were just driving out west, and wherever we got to that night, that's where we stayed. And we get there, and the town is packed. I mean, the restaurants are packed, the hotels are packed. We can't find anything. We go to this one hotel. They've got a couple rooms, and it's really expensive. And the guy said, look, if you were a member of our rewards club and you booked it in advance, it'd be half this price. So he gave us he set us up with the rewards, or my wife with the rewards account. And from there on out, unless we were staying at a special resort, we used this hotel chain. And since then, we've built up enough points to stay a couple nights for free and other stuff like that. But I'm not going to let one bad experience ruin the whole thing.
Sounds like Trump Hotel.
I'd say I've had pretty good experience with what is it, Holiday Inn? I think Executive Express, not like the normal Holiday Inns, but the upper end ones. They've been pretty good on my end. Always got like fresh baked cookies. They're cool. Like give me extra coffee because I show up, they get that little coffee thing, and I'm like, usually track down somebody in the hall that's working, and if you're nice to them, like the people that work on the rooms and shit, they usually just give it to me. Like, I don't mind if it shows up on the bill or whatever, but it usually never does. They just hook you up. So Wyndham is the one chain I think was the one in Florida that I had a bad issue with, but Wyndham Hotel chain or whatever, and a friend of mine had part ownership, and he would stay on the other side, and but that's a whole other story. But yeah, but I would state you should run from those damn Econo lodges. Like, I stopped by one of those not too long ago, and like couch cushions were missing, every room was dirty. Of course, housekeeping or whatever, cleaning had left for the day because they thought they called themselves done with a bunch of dirty rooms. I got bounced in through 3 rooms and then got refunded and was pissed off and backtracked back down the highway to find a decent hotel that cost me an extra $20. And I had a pool, all types of stuff, like way nicer. You know what I mean? Modern. The carpet wasn't worn out. Didn't look like a freaking place that was rented by the hour. So I'd avoid that Econo lodge shit like the plague. Sometimes, $20 can make a hell of a difference. And we get pretty good deals at those ones I mentioned there. The executive suites or whatever it is there through the thing. Just saw from going through the apps online. Same thing with parking, like Parking Buddy, things like that. There's a lot of apps out there where we're paying prices that are a hell of a lot cheaper than the other people. And we just, like, we'll book 2 hotels. Like, we're not sure if we're going to go this way or this way at this point. So we'll just book 2 hotels. And there's no charge for it in most cases. So that way, wherever we ended up, we're good to go, basically. And it works out well that way. I get there, we end up saving money. Like, it ended up saving, the one guy was paying like over $100 more than us per night. Like, dude got kind of pissed. The only difference is we ordered ours, I don't know, hour prior online versus just coming through the door, So we got great discounts. So I would say, how you go about it makes a big difference. There's a huge swing on prices for rooms depending whether you walk in or get it through an app or what. So there was one that people were paying like it was like $300 a night or something, while we were paying like $100. So it all depends on what service you go through. So it's kind of crazy. And again, I think I've seen this actually years ago. It was on one of the TV shows, but depending what devices you use. So all you Apple people out there, you should pay attention, because I forgot who it was. Some morning show did this live, and they average you to make a certain amount. So even if you got Apple money, you might want to buy an Android if you like your money, because apparently when you do searches, you get different results for pricier shit. So, and we do most of our searches on Android stuff. So maybe that's a difference too with the cost of hotels, but that is actually a thing. So some people might not think so, but They did it live on TV there. Well, I don't know, live, TV, whatever, but with two different devices on one of these shows, and we're coming up with two different things. And I've done it also with some friends just locally on searching for clothing store or this or that. And the stuff they get is pricier than the stuff I get. So that could be a little catch to it too. So just something to keep in mind when you are traveling or looking for stuff. Check online and do it with a cheap ass device, and you'll probably have good deals.
Apple's just trying to keep all those upper crust people from having to hang around the riffraff. That's all.
Probably. That's fine with me. Whatever. I don't like snotty assholes anyway, so it works for me. So. not saying everybody's a snotty asshole. That's not what I mean. But yeah. Wealth segregation, I guess. Right?
Oh no. People with devices love to tell you that's what they. See, you have a Droid. Yes, I've got an iPhone and an iWatch and an iPad, and my computer's a Mac, and that's nice. Let me guess, you went to University of Michigan too. Whatever.
If you went to the University of Michigan, you would just tell them you wanted large fries.
If you went to U of M, you'd know within the first 30 seconds, because that's the thing we've got here is you can tell who went. They put it all over their car. They put it in their office, all over their house. They wear it. They will walk up to you. Hi, my name's Joe. I went to U of M, right? And that's kind of the running joke in Michigan is, how do you know if somebody went to U of M? Don't worry, they'll tell you within the first 30 seconds. Yeah. But it's the same thing with the iPhones and stuff like that. It's like, I've got the iPhone. And that's not to say that, like, when I had an iPhone, the camera is much better than the Droid. I have to give it that. It really was. But otherwise, I didn't really see any sort of difference other than it had proprietary stuff, like the charger and all that. That was kind of garbage. But, if I had a second phone, I'd have an iPhone. But it's really just for making videos. And if that's what you want, that's what you want. And something nice. It's just the whole, I don't know. I don't really see that as necessarily overall a superior device. I guess it's just what you do with it.
For me, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I'm cheap, so I'm not spending that much on a damn phone. So I just got this one not long ago. It's already busted in two places. Screen's cracked. This is my new phone, and it's already busted up. So whatever. It's a tool for me. You know what I mean? So I don't need a supercomputer phone in a sense. I don't use it to that capability. This one was like $150. So yeah, whatever. Now everybody's got different things. I mean, if you actually use it like for its purposes, and by all means, but it's like people buying a NASCAR to drive to work or something. Like, if you're never gonna take it over 55, what the hell's the point? You know what I mean? Like, you got all right to, but you know what I mean? It's a whole lot of money for nothing. So I don't know, but that's just me. So
I would suggest a hiking phone, but it's going to cost you more than $150. It isn't going to cost as much as a Galaxy S20 or whatever, but yeah.
I like my old Note. I considered buying a newer one of those, but the old one I got for free. The new one I'd have to buy. So it's like, I don't know. But I like the ability that you could do with, some of the stuff you could do with it and draw and all that. I know you can with modern phones now and stuff, but the tips are like big and it's a pain in the ass. I don't know. I just like that one, but not enough to buy a new one. So anyway, well, I think we're about 2 hours now, longer than normal. I don't know if anybody's got anything disability related you want to throw in here, but
I'd like to say I hope Rick's feeling better. He just sounded like he overdid it, maybe.
He was partying it up, man.
Yeah. Hope he has a good time with that bubble bath. That is a good picture, man. How did you cut his face out, put on there, just like you did Gizzard Gary?
Magic, man. I can't tell you. That's him. I didn't cut nothing out. That's him. Shit.
That's like the National Enquirer right there.
He's the wild man. Don't let him fool you.
Bubble party at Deb's Diner.
Ooh.
Oh, no,
They
it's
call it strawberry.
not strawberry.
Uh,
It's cherry.
Cherry. Cherry. Oh, yeah.
Is that soy milk, Rob?
No. Not in this house.
See, he won't buy an iPhone, but he'll go ahead and spend $5 on a milkshake.
Oh, you damn right.
Hey, he doesn't know if it's worth $5, but it's pretty damn good.
Well, it's a better deal. It's like going out for ice cream or making it at home. It's a better deal at home. So, I don't know. Yes, me too. Oh, no.
Strawberries have been better.
Cherries are good, man. Strawberries are good. I mean, shoot, I was just eating these raspberries. Oh, shit. That just ruined my pants. But, yeah. Nature's candy. Damn. Not good. Squish them in between your legs.
That's
Not good. That's life. Well, all right. I guess we'll get wrapping it up then. So it's been a little longer than normal, but yeah, hopefully Rick's doing well, and we kind of had a cut of the week, if you want to call it that, and hopefully he'll be back there. This Saturday? So if he came, obviously from seeing Rick over to here or something, then yeah, we're not Rick, but kind of filled in a little bit, got a little off the rails as far as the topics, but we're not Rick. So hopefully this was the way to kill some time and some entertainment in a sense. Feel free to like, subscribe. Jay and Squib have channels too. Check them out. I don't know if you guys got anything you want to leave the public with.
thanks for the invite, Rob. Glad I could help. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks for filling in for Rick.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I wasn't really intending on it, but figured what the heck. So, this is a mess. But yeah. So hopefully, it killed the time for people. So again, I just say thanks everybody for showing up out there, and I do appreciate you stopping by. We had Pat Hirsch, G23, Two Live Moon, Mario was in here. Mr. Knife stopped by. Let's see. Midnight Range, Two Live Moon, probably already said that. Let's see. Trying to scroll back up here. Kingpin, he probably ran off the Salty Cracker, which is live now if anybody's interested. He's a little much for me for long periods of time. Not saying he's off, but just, I don't know. Andrew Faulkner. I think I saw Vanessa Kitty in here earlier. Defense Dad was here. So basically that ran through my list. So thanks for showing up, folks. Hopefully you could live with it. Grim 90 was here. So apologize, I want to miss him. Thanks for stopping by, Grim. So yeah, thanks for joining us, folks. And that'll be it for today. You got any kind of tagline thing? Kick it out there.
Keep your berries off your berries.
That's helpful. All right. We'll catch you later, people.